Well, this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I just want to bring back to you for a moment the Nikud Avayu Shel Eser Sfiros, because you're going to see this around. Because it's my hope that I can teach a little bit about the Rashash to give some people some ideas about the direction of our prayers, our kavanos. So here, once again, the Kesser is 4 komats. It's a Yud K Vav K, but it's represented by the komats. Then Chochmah is represented by the Patach, Bina by the Tzeri, Chesed by the Segel, Gevura by the Shva, Tiferes by the Cholam. So the Netzach is just a Chirik, Hod is Kubutz, Yesod is Shurik Vav. That's what they call the Shurik Vav. And Malchus, I put in the vowels that we normally see by Malchus, but he said, believe Nikud is the way to think of Malchus. Malchus is empty. Empty of what? So she's empty. So these others have different kinds of vocalizations that go with them that apparently means something in Kabbalah. All of it I don't know, but for the basis of coming over here to this little drawing that I wanted to show you today, we're going to see this, just see it. I'm not trying to teach this, really. Just point it out. What you see in front of you is a Chavaya, an Ekya, and on top of a Chavaya. And then they start splitting up and going in different ways. And these are actually what the Rashash depicts as lights. That the lights have two qualities. The Ekyas are called the Makifim, that is the lights, the great lights that cannot go into Zeranpin. And the Chavayas are called the Penimim. These are lights that can go into Zeranpin. But you notice here we have what we're dealing with, Kesser. Then you're dealing with Chochmah. And then you're dealing with this, an intermediate, this is kind of a Das type of thing. Then you have Chesed. And it looks like there's Hod over here. And it goes through all the different things. You could look at the lights, but this is for a different time. What we really want to look at here, and the reason why I brought you the vocalizations before is because vocalizations is something we have to be aware of in learning the Rashash. And certainly, if we can have a hint into it and know that it's out there, it's really important. So this Torah that we're learning today is going to be called Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. And he's going to say to us that the Rab is going to say to us that if you take the Rosh Tevos, here indicated in large letters by the Rashash of Lahadlik, right, the first letter of that, the next letter of the word Ner, and then Chanukah, you have to mix them around a little bit, but they come to the word Nahal. Now, I just want anybody who to take a look at this word, and so he says once again, the Roshi Tevos of these words, the Hadlik Ner Chanukah, brings you to the word Nahal. Nahal means a river, or actually it means a stream, like a clear mountain stream. Nahal flowing downwards, a tremendous amount of water in it. So he says like this, and this we're going to read this again. Yechavein, your kavanah should be, lahamshech me'ima revua ekya. So you should have the idea that you're going to take from Bina is going to come into Zeranpin, but in a specific way. Now this word, the Revua Ekya, spells the word Dam, which this whole thing has to do with Pesach and Sfira. It's a whole big deal over there, but this actually represents an essence of Ima coming into Zeranpin, and what it looks like the Revua, like a Revua. This goes into the Ma, which represents Zer Anpin. You have to think about this now. Zer Anpin is there. He is a Vok, basically. He's going to be getting Mochin from a higher dimension, from Ima. This is expanded consciousness. And as a result of that, she's going to go into him. He's called Ma, because Ma is the gematria of Adam. And Adam, that's 45, and Adam is basically Zer Anpin. So now we have this Ma, which is Zer Anpin, and he has this Revua, which is the gematria Dam, coming into Zer Anpin. And this is what it actually looks like in the Kavanah. This is the Kavanah. Okay, this Kavanah is, I think, very similar. It might be exactly the same as the Kavanah we have on Pesach and Sfira, but that's a different story, and we'll look at that a little bit, with God's help at the time. So he says it starts like this. It starts like just a regular spelling of Yud K. Yud Vav Dalet K Aleph, that's the beginning of the Milui of Alafim, which we're going to see in the words. And then it starts with the letter Vav, and it should be Vav Aleph Vav. But instead of that, this gematria of a Ravua of Akya, okay, Aleph, Aleph K Yud, Aleph K Yud K. It's like Nach, Nachma, Nachman. People think that's a joke because they don't really understand, but it's actually a Kabbalistic formula for spreading light. So here it is, Aleph, Aleph K Yud, Aleph K Yud K, goes inside of the Vav, and Zer Anpin is also a Vav. And so the metaphor is a really, really nice one. If you put all these together, they make the gematria of the word Nachal. Now, let's read a little bit. We have a few minutes, and let's read the words of the Rav himself and also the translation by the Tiv. Let me see if I can find a place. Please bear with me. I know that it is in here. It's right around here. Okay, this is where we're going to start. He said, L'kalechen dechaven, b'shem Nachal. So we just saw what Nachal looks like. Shu b'gematria chavaya dema, which is 45, and of Alafim, which makes 45. L'chein tekaven b'shem Nachal hanizka l'shem havaya dema kazel, Yud Vav Dalet Ke Aleph Vav Aleph Vav Ke Aleph. V'chashem Nachal. So this is a part of the name Nachal, because it comes out the gematria 45, the gematria chavaya dema. Im Akya, but inside of it, it has this Akya, and the Akya is in form of a Ravua, Kamoshin Bavar Bechemshech, as we're going to explain as we go forward. He says, Va'os Aleph, this letter Aleph Shebe'em Semilui Os Vav that you find it is a gematria once again of Dam. V'Os Aleph Shehi Be'emsa, which the normal letters of this combination is Vav Aleph Vav, is the Milui of Vav. Shebemilui Avaya Dema, that's you find this in the Avaya Dema, Hanizker Le'el Kazeh, Yud Vav Dalet Ke Aleph, and here's the Vav, Vav Aleph Vav. That's what the Vav looks like. So and then it finishes up with a Aleph. Now he says we're going to operate on this. He says he Shem Akya Berivua. So Os Aleph Shebe'emsa Os Vav Aleph Vav the Shema. Romez it's a hint. It's a underlying secret. The Revua shall shame Akya, that there is an Akya in there. Hainu Kazeh, this is what the Revua of Akya looks like. Aleph, Aleph K Yud, Aleph K Yud K. Hainu she'em ma'amshichin as ha'miloi shal ha'oz vav. And the thing is that you have to be able to extend the milui of the oz vav and make it not just Vav, Aleph, Vav, but Vav, and this Milui of Akya, which is Aleph, Aleph K Yud, Aleph K Yud K, you put that in there. This indicates that inside of Zer Anpin is this living organism coming from Ima, which is in the form of a Ravua. Rak Achra Aleph Shebemilui Mekuvanim Sham, Shem Akya Berivua, so we do the Akya Berivua, that's in there, just like as I said. V'achakach Ma'amshichim, Hemshach HaMilui, then you bring the rest of the Milui, Shala Oz Vav Aleph Vav, and then you finish it off with that Vav, the Hainu Dema Kazeh, is like this, and like this. Where did he show us here? Kazeh. Oh, here we are, we're going to do it right here. So it goes like this, Yud Vav Dalet Ke Aleph, then you hit the letter Vav, right? And then you start doing the Revua, Aleph, Aleph K Yud, Aleph K Yud K, and then it goes the final Vav. So it was originally Vav, Aleph, Vav. Now you put this Ekya in the Revua inside in the middle of it, and you finish it off with this Vav. And then the final two letters, or the final letter, really, Milui, of the letter K, is K Aleph. So he said, the Tiv writes, Zu Tzuras Havaya Dema, this is really the form that we have of this Havaya Dema. Im HaRevua Shel Ekya Besocho, with the Vua of Ekya inside of it. She'os Aleph Shebetoch Milui Avav, so this Aleph that's inside of this Milui of the letter Vav, Na'asi b'men Revua Shem Akya, it becomes made into this Revua. Okay, so now we're finishing up, God willing. He says, Ki Shem Zem Mora Inyan Ima, HaMe'ira B'Zah Mislav Shebesocho. So just as we said before, now you see this Ravua is inside the name Ma. Ma represents their Anpin. Ekya represents Ima. And now you're seeing this Ekya in Ravua form. Ravua shall Ekya zu. Kashahu b'soch avaya dema, when it's inside of this avaya dema, as we show that it is. Mora al inyan ima tells about minyam acharayim de ima. So it's acharayim de ima. Now that's another Kabbalistic idea that everything has a front and a back. That is, that acharayim is the transfer part, because the benemius is where the Ein Sof Baruch Hu is. So to get to what the concept of the lower worlds is that it pushes it outwards into more partsuf, in which also diminishes the amount of the light of the Ein Sof. It makes it more acceptable to the lower worlds. He says this is the acharayim. The acharayim, so he says another phrase, the acharayim of the upper partsuf is the same thing as the penimius, or the panim, of the lower partsuf. So we have to understand everything is relative, it moves around. That's a Shem Ekya Romez the Ima. It's a remes to Ima v'tamid shekasheniknas ha'aras Ima bezer anpen. And whenever you see the light, now he's talking about here light of consciousness of Ima going into zer anpen shuhu havai b'milu ima, and that's what zer anpen represents. Niknas acharayim shel Ima v'lo hapanim. So there you see that you're getting the acharayim of Ima, not her face. Shehi Shem Ekya b'Revua. So the acharayim, once again, is the word dam. It's interesting. A lot of different possibilities there. V'lechein Shem Zeh Mora Idyan Ima HaMislavesh B'Zah. So therefore this is teaching us about Ima, which was clothed inside of Zah. And from looking at this, if you were a physicist, but now you're a Kabbalist, if you're able to look at this, you're a Kabbalist. Because this is what basically was saying. He says that this is really the doorway. So in the Mishnah, Zer Anpen Hu Avaya Dema Kanoida, we know that Zer Anpen is Avaya Dema. V'zech on the Nachal HaNizkar Chaindach of Avaya Dema im Revua Shel Eki. It's the Avaya Dema together with the Revua of Eki B'Socha. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Now we've seen the concept here. I'm going to take us back one more time. We'll get back in here. We'll see it one more time. I know that it's here. And I really could be better organized by, like, say, here it is. By saying printing these out ahead of time might make a lot of sense. But anyway, here's the word. We're talking about the concept of, whoop, wrong one. One more. Going the wrong way. Here it is. Wow. Nachal. Yud K. And then the Ravua in the middle. And now you've learned something. Altogether, it makes the concept of Nachal. Try that on for Kavanah tonight. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kolo.